Ladies and gentlemen of the internet. So, first things first, I haven't made a video in about 2 months. That's mostly because I've been extremely busy with school, but we're halfway through the semester. We get out in like 6 weeks now. So, I got time to make videos again. Things are slowing down. It's mostly group work, so I don't really have anything to do. So, we're back to making videos. But with that being said, did Xbox just kill PlayStation, or is it going to affect them? None at all. So let's recap. This generation is officially over. 2 weeks ago, with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remake and Avengers, that officially launched the final major games of this console generation. After this, all major games coming are simply PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And I have both of those on pre-order. And it's very exciting to me to think that we're on the cusp of another console generation with a whole lot of new adventures to be made, a whole lot of new videos to be made, and a whole lot of just life-changing events. Some of you might be in high school. You'll probably graduate college during this next console generation. I'm graduating in this next console generation. I'm 22 years old. I probably will even end up a father before this console generation ends, and that's kind of crazy to think. But the thing that is even crazier about this upcoming console generation is how crazy Xbox is going with these exclusives and these consoles and these manufacturers and whatnot that they are buying. And I think it's kind of a tell of the times, because for so long, everybody said, I would love to play on Xbox, except for fanboys. Everybody said, I would love to play on Xbox. They just don't have any games that interest me. I like the power. I like the way they're moving. But again, why should I pay $400, $500 for an Xbox One X when my $400 PlayStation 4, even though it doesn't support 4K, will have all these exclusives and all these great games that I want to play? Do I really want to buy this just to play some games at better quality when everything else I play is on my PlayStation? That is something that you heard people say over and over throughout this console generation. Pretty much ever since Halo 5 launched, it's been that way. But now, Xbox bought Bethesda. Bethesda is now an Xbox console exclusive. It's still going to be on PC from what I've gathered with one of my friends that I researched it with the other day. You probably noticed it in the Discord. I don't think that they're going to put it on PlayStation. They did say by a case-by-case basis, so probably whatever's already in development for PlayStation, like Ghostwire Tokyo and Looper, those will probably both be on the PlayStation. But other than that, everything's probably going to be exclusive to the Xbox now. And now there are rumors that Xbox bought Sega. If you've not been paying attention, for the last day or so, every single Xbox head has been tweeting Sega references, and they're all wearing Sega t-shirts at meetings and videos and video calls and just all type of marketing material. And Sega are all doing the same thing except with Xbox. And this has been a persistent rumor from reliable leakers this entire year. And if you've been on this channel and you can just scroll through, search anything, I've talked primarily about a handful of games on this channel. I've talked a ton about Resident Evil, a ton about Jak and Daxter, a little bit about Sonic, a ton about Yakuza, and a little bit about The Evil Within, and Prey, and all these other games, and Doom, and all this other stuff that I liked. Pretty much all these games that I play outside of the PlayStation exclusives are now owned by Xbox, assuming that Sega did sell to Xbox. And we know that might be true because the new Yakuza for English, at least initially, is the Xbox Series X exclusive. Yes, it is going to be on PlayStation 4, but for next gen, there's no PlayStation 5 version. And it's kind of odd to see that, especially with Yakuza being a staple of PlayStation for so long. But like I was saying, everybody said, I can't play on Xbox, there's no games. Now Xbox has games. And did Xbox kill PlayStation? Probably not. Probably not, in all honesty. But what is going to happen is they are going to make it very hard for PlayStation now. Because go walk to your bookshelf or open up your PlayStation. Look at the games you have installed or sitting on your shelf. I guarantee you have at least one of these 3 games that I'm about to say. Yakuza 0, Persona 5, or even Sakura Wars. Those are 3 games that did very, very good for Sega this generation. And if those games are now exclusive to Xbox, that's going to be weird because those games were big selling points for the PlayStation. Persona 5 was the biggest RPG of this console generation. Yakuza 0 was the biggest action RPG of this console generation. And then we got our little boy Sonic the Hedgehog. He's always consistently the biggest platformer every single generation, excluding Mario, since Mario is an exclusive to Nintendo. And it's just going to be odd because this means Xbox is going to go from the 44 million, at least that's what's confirmed, is probably sold about 60 million after everything's said and done. That's how many console units so far this generation. That's going to mean if they have all this stuff, next generation, they'll probably sell closer to about 80 million. And PlayStation was saying that PlayStation 5 is going to sell about 200 plus million. But if Xbox is getting all this stuff, then that might make the PlayStation 5 only sell what the PlayStation 4 did, or maybe just a little bit more. And that would be quite interesting given the circumstance and how everything's so much different now, especially since PlayStation has a strong grasp on the market right now. They have exclusive everything. They buy exclusive everything. They are, all things considered, the place to play this console generation. But nothing ever stays the same. This was true with the PlayStation 2. And then Xbox bought up a bunch of stuff, and they bit into that market for the Xbox 360, and yes, PlayStation did come back to win after 2014, but they didn't win when the console generation was still active. They only won once Xbox quit selling the Xbox 360. And then, let's look back even further. The PlayStation 1 dominated Nintendo and Sega, but Apple was the biggest and pretty much the only place to play computer games at that time. And that was true until about 2008, 2009. And Apple had this little game, you may have heard of it, pretty niche, pretty indie game. It's called Halo. And Microsoft swooped in, they grabbed it. And then because of that, all first-person shooters for the duration of the PlayStation 2 life cycle all sold best on the Xbox. They played best on the Xbox, and everybody bought an Xbox for shooters. And that's something that you can't really come across again later because everywhere else just kind of chilled out. They just played the games they've always played. Except for Xbox, they pushed the envelope, and they pushed it a little further in hardware and just doing futuristic stuff with the Xbox 360. For example, interchangeable hard drives. Looking back at 2005 we thought that was stupid, but now look at it today. Everybody and their mother has changed their hard drive on their PlayStation or Xbox several times, or your SD card in your Switch. That was markets of the future. Xbox Live, that was markets of the future, way before they were even ready for it. The Xbox One S, even though it flopped in sales, a digital-only console, way of the future. Xbox has always been ahead of the competition. They've just never really executed it properly. But if buying all these great big studios can help them execute it properly, this may make Xbox a place to play again, a place where you can go out and buy it, even if you play only on your Nintendo, or you only play on your computer, or you only play on your PlayStation, or I don't know, your iPhone with Apple Arcade. You can look at the Xbox and know, all right, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to play these wonderful Bethesda games, these wonderful Sega games, this Coalition game, 343, all these games. I'm going to play them, enjoying them, sitting on my couch instead of awkwardly in a computer, very uncomfortable. That is something that I think is going to be very worthwhile going into this console generation. I think things are going to get really, really good for Xbox and everybody else, but there is still the concern of monopoly laws. The United States has many laws on monopolies, and basically Xbox hasn't violated any of them yet, but if they continue to buy studios left and right, big acquisitions every year, I mean, so far Bethesda is the biggest acquisition they had, but if Sega is the next, then it's game over. I mean, there's probably only like 4 or 5 more studios that Xbox can buy before they're officially considered a monopoly. Because at this point, I think the Xbox family has like 24 studios, and I think like 8 of them has been bought in the last couple of years. I don't know the exact rules on what develops a monopoly. I think it's something like if you own 30% of a market, you have become a monopoly. But we don't really care about that anymore in the United States because pretty much everything's a monopoly. Amazon's a monopoly. Walmart's a monopoly for grocery stores. In the United States, we don't really care about monopolies anymore, so it's highly unlikely that, something's going to happen. I mean, look at Apple. Apple's a monopoly. If you want a cell phone that isn't, for lack of a better way to say it, complete shit, you have to have an iPhone. Otherwise, you, again, have complete shit as a phone. So, with that being said, we don't care about monopolies. So how far is Xbox going to push buying brand new studios? I honestly think if they buy Sega, then the next thing that's going to be bought is the rumored Capcom. It's been rumored for so long that Xbox is going to buy Capcom. And I don't remember exactly when those rumors started. I think it was right after Resident Evil 2 Remake was announced. Those rumors began because of Devil May Cry 5. And then Devil May Cry 5 came out. I believe the demo began exclusive to Xbox. I could be wrong on that. And around that time was when all this stuff began. People began thinking, wait a minute, maybe, just maybe, Capcom just got bought by, Xbox. But we wouldn't know about that because I believe Capcom's a publicly traded company, or at least they have a lot of publicity and funds from the Japanese government. So that would be odd. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. If they really did just buy Sega, Capcom is definitely next on the list for them to buy. And at that point, once Xbox has bought Sega and Capcom and Bethesda, where's the limit? Are they going to buy enough so that if you don't play on Xbox, you just won't play at all? Like, I know they want to push cloud as their concept for the future. And yes, that probably will be the future of gaming in like 20 years or so. I just don't know how that's going to fare, all things considered, when you look at how the gaming market's going. If Xbox is buying all these studios, if they don't kill PlayStation, are they just going to kill gaming in general? I mean, let's just be glad that Google Stadia hasn't bought any studios. That would be terrible. So with this being said, do you think what Xbox is doing is going to kill PlayStation in the end? I'm talking look into the distant future. Don't look into the current today stuff. Look into the distant future. I don't think PlayStation has too much to worry about this coming generation because JRPGers and RPGers, they are a niche breed. They aren't really going to affect the sales of the PlayStation 5 all that much. Maybe like 20, 30 million, but when we're talking PlayStation, that's literally not even noticeable. So I guess we'll have to see where it goes. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, try not to die, and I'll see you in the next video.